The ladies in tech, we have some few ladies in front here to inspire you. You've been having questions. Can I make it as a woman? How can I do this? Nowadays we can also do it. So please, let me take this opportunity to invite Joanne to take over and prepare your questions. You see these ladies, yes, you are also allowed to ask, but majorly I want questions from the ladies. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joanne Logose. I work for an organization called United Bible Societies, and my role is to help Bible societies around the world. There are about more than 140 Bible societies, but I focus on the small and medium-sized Bible societies. I help them implement e-commerce to make sure that they're e-commerce enabled. So I get into the organization and analyze what they have. If they have something good, we just help them improve. If they have nothing, no e-commerce solution, I make sure that they build an e-commerce website that has everything that is needed for them to run e-commerce. And trust me, when we started in 2018, we had only about 50 Bible societies among the 140 that were e-commerce enabled. But right now, I think we've crossed 100 since we began in 2018, and they are all e-commerce enabled right now. So that's my major role. Otherwise, I started as a systems admin. I was doing general IT before I joined United Bible Societies to deal with e-commerce. So that's my role today, but I will let my colleagues also introduce themselves. The moderator for today, I work in tech, and I'll let them introduce themselves and tell us more about themselves, and then we'll be answering. Today what we are here to answer is, why is it that when I say good evening, there were very many ladies' voices, but if I get it about, let me say 10 years from now, you will enter a tech room and you will find only one lady. And yet when you go to church, there are more women than men. When you go to club, there are more women than men. When you go to many places, there are more women than men. Why do we go to the tech industry and you walk into a room, a boardroom, and there's only one lady? Why is that the case? So that is what we are here to answer. What are the challenges for women in tech, and what are the opportunities available? But I'll let the ladies introduce themselves before we go on. So I'll start with Fanny.
Good evening, everyone. How is everyone? All right. I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Fanny Nyayich, and I'm a software engineer by profession. I specialize in front-end development, and I'm also a technical writer, and also I work with women or girls who would like to contribute to open source projects. Our project is called Open Source for Equality. It's basically aimed at creating a safe space for women who would like to contribute to open source. I'm so excited to be here.
Hi everyone. My name is Sharon Rapol. I'm glad to be here. Welcome, Masaka. The very first welcome. And I am a web developer, also a technical writer, and UI/UX designer. And I love inspiring women who are interested in tech to pursue their tech careers. Yeah.
Hello everyone. Hi. My name is Paula Julius. Doing bachelor's of information and technology at Shimano Motors University. This is my first time being here at the WordCamp. so happy to be with you people. I do also, I design websites, I do coding, I do many things. So I'll be happy to share with you my experience, but not much, but a little, which I have.
Okay, so maybe I'll start with you. Keep the mic. Of all the subjects on earth, you could have gone to be a doctor, you could have gone to be an engineer, you could have done anything. Why tech? Yeah. What inspired you? What is your tech story?
Alright, what inspired me most is coding. So interesting. Those things that the first time when I saw we have computer language. So the first time when I saw those things, I was like, what are these? I was so surprised with the things, but that's so interesting. So I wanted to develop myself on that, and that was my pleasure to be information technology woman. At the startup, I was the only girl at the campus. So boys were like, how can you do it? But I managed by cooperating with them. They helped me in different ways. So I tried a lot of things. Also, the ways whereby we girls, we get difficult experiences. So when you be interested in one thing, don't give up, girls. Don't give up in any way. So let me give you hello. Let me give you a short story. When I was a high school girl, I did IT, I mean like ICT, Information Computer Technology. So when I was doing that course, it was a subsidiary. I did it well at the first time, but the second time my teacher and even around was like, you can't do this. It's so hurting when someone tells you that you can't do something. So I was like, I will do it, and I will show him that I can manage to do this, and I will do it. So at the time when I told him that I'm doing information technology, he was surprised, like, how did you do it? But I didn't give up on my desire, on my admiring of things. So I keep going on what I wanted. That's it until where I am right now. I'm so happy and I'm proud of myself. So I'll still tell you, don't give up on what you need, on what you want. So if you want to be a doctor, keep on going. Don't be stressed of people, like friends. I know people will talk much. They'll say bad things about you. Also, please be with the groups which they will help you in moving and do something well. Thank you.
Okay. So for me, I wouldn't say tech is something that I wanted to pursue when I was still at high school. I love computers because I was offering a combination that I had to stroke with ICT, and I think my first interaction with computers was really HSC. And going to campus, honestly, I'll be honest, I wanted to do engineering, I wanted to do civil engineering. I was very interested in civil engineering or electrical engineering. But while I was applying for a course at campus, computer science was one of the courses that I took. And it happened that I got the course. So they told me, Madam, you have got the course. Go and do it. So my tech story has not been, like, it's an interesting one. I honestly published a whole article on my website about my story. So for me, it wasn't because I wanted to. It is something that I found myself in, and I must admit that it was very challenging in the beginning. Like year one was most challenging. In class, I hated programming. Like I hated the programming lectures because I would look at people with their machines writing things that I could do using a calculator. Like calculator, write a function like add two numbers. Add two numbers, I can just add them using a calculator. Like it wasn't making sense to me. I didn't know why you had to write some weird things using a dark, environment, that to just add two numbers and all that. But what helped me really is I networked. And year one was I'm just enjoying my campus, I'm just doing campus. Then year two, I started to network. They started inviting me for tech events, and I started going for these events. It was actually a woman who invited her an event. So I started going for these events, and I started networking. I started asking people about this weird, everything. If I tell me a software engineer, I would ask you, okay, what is software engineering? What do you even do? What are you pursuing? So through interacting with people, I got, knowledge about the field, and that helped me to sort myself. Yeah, year three, by the time I reached year three, I knew what I wanted to pursue. Yeah.
Right. What is my tech story? For me, it started from home. My dad had a small desktop computer at home, but then he never wanted any one of us to touch it. Not even using it, nothing. And I was asking myself, why? Why doesn't he want us to use the computer? So from that, then I decided that, okay, when I go to high school, I'm going to do computer and see what I can achieve with my computer. So, personally, my main goal was to do something related to the medical field because that's what our parents want us to do. So when I finished my senior 4, before getting the admission for senior 6, I went through a career guidance, and I told the gentleman who was giving me that guidance that I want a combination, because it's combination, that has /ICT. And good thing I did well in math. He told me if you're going to do math in senior 5 or in level 4, then you can go for that. So I took a combination with math and then which had /ICT. But the goal was to maybe go for a medical field. That was my career plan, was to be a clinical officer. For some reason I don't know why. So I did biology, chemistry, math, and then /ICT. But then my plan B was, in case I fail for the medical, I'll go to do anything related to computers. So during my vacation, we went through a financial crisis as a family. So my mother told me, whatever course comes your way, just go and do it. So for some reason, I don't know, my dad, I don't know how he connected with some people, and then they told me to go and do an interview in an Indian institute. Has a branch in Mengo called Saipali Institute of Technology. So when I reached there, I didn't know what I was going for. So those guys told me we have 3 courses. We have software engineering, we have visual effects, and we have networking, something related to networking. So choose one. So they gave us an interview that was basically basics of computer, how to turn on computer, those simple things about computers. And then from there, I signed up for software engineering, and up to then, until now, I'm still a software engineer, and I'm so proud of that.
Thank you very much, Penny. Now for me, I was telling people in the other session earlier on that I stumbled upon ICT because of my love for football. Like I would go search about anything I wanted in sport. It actually helped me do some little sports. At some point I was a radio presenter doing sports on radio and TV because of what the computer was giving me. But I didn't forget my passion. I wanted to know how these computers, how the websites were actually giving information to people. So that's how my tech journey began, and I'm not surprised and shocked that I'm dealing with websites, because ever since that day, When I walked into a computer lab and saw the computer giving information, I've never let go. I just want to see the computer give information and how is that information fed to the people. So that's my story. But I'll go back to the ladies here now. I know that each of you has told us your story, and you've mentioned some of the challenges that you faced. Maybe you can add a few more, one or two more, and how did you overcome those challenges? For example, you're in a class and you're only two ladies or you're one lady. How do you overcome the gender bias that is there? She told us about her teacher who was telling her you will not make it. How did you ladies overcome some of the challenges that you are facing then and the ones that you're facing right now? Because it's not a finished journey yet. How do you overcome those challenges in tech?
Alright, my first experience with a hard pill was when we were given a project in class, and in my software class we were around 4 girls, the rest were boys. We were around 30 people in class, but we were 4 girls. So we were given this project, we were supposed to submit it, but I was stuck. I had to go to ask for help from classmates, you know. I go to this gentleman, and I'll never forget this guy after today. He's also, I think, watching somewhere, I don't know. But he looked at my code, he told me, what is this that you have done? Like, he deleted everything I've done, you know? It was so frustrating for me. And then, this was a time I felt like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Then he told me, start doing again afresh, and I'm not understanding anything that he was telling me at that time. But then when I flashed back, I realized that there was something I learned from it. Sometimes you have to be intentional about certain things, you know. The way someone responds to you, that was a challenge, but then I needed to learn how to respond back. Should I cry, or should I just confront him for deleting my work, or what? So you ladies need to always stand your ground. If someone has done something, they have deleted your work, tell them I want it back. Stand your ground, I want it back. And then also don't take it personal. I think that's the challenge I've also faced so much. When someone is telling you something or they don't want to show you something, you take it personal. Oh, for me nobody wants to help me. Or no, don't take it personal. Look for someone else. That is why you see WordPress community exists, so that if you're facing challenges, you can reach out to anyone in the community, and please embrace the community, because you're not going to rely on your own. There's no way you're going to grow on your own. Rely on someone have someone who you can come to when you need that help. So always ask for help and always do things with others. So that will help you grow, and also be intentional. That's my advice. I can tell you, and she has also helped me grow.
Yeah, so for me, I think the very first challenge that I faced was choosing a course that I don't even understand what it's about. That was the greatest challenge for me. And in my class, we were few ladies. It was again, it was like 80% gentlemen and just 20% ladies. In fact, I remember the evening class, so we had the evening class had only one lady. So that's how few we were. So there's a way, let's be honest, there is a way gentlemen just feel better when you are around them. Like, they will somehow prove a point. They will somehow show you that they can do it better. Because we had groups at campus, you were given groups, we do work in groups. We had groups that almost every group you find, either the group has only gentlemen or the group has one lady. So I was just like one person in my group. And the person who was always writing the code, in case you are doing this coding challenge, was always the code. And if you really ask him how he does it, he will just tell you, today I learned things in the back, so much going, you don't know what I'm doing here. That's really challenging, and you learn in the back. I was enjoying my, 3 years vacation. You were busy learning these things that don't make sense to me. So you always you reach a time when you feel like you're left out, imposter syndrome. Number one, whenever you find yourself when you are alone or you are pure, you're going to always feel it. But how are you going to deal with it? For me personally, I reached out to people of my gender. Yeah, like I left that gender because they felt so big. I could not really interact with them alone. So I decided to look for these women engineers. I decided to look for these women who are really intense and interact with them, and they encourage me, and they help me understand that the miracle that I was given that course, it means I excel and I can pursue it, right? So another thing is that imposter syndrome, which means like feeling like you're not good enough, will always be there. But let's be honest, in fact, it's true that these men are always better. I've experienced that in the work environment. Okay. You know, feminists will always tell you, women this, women that, and all. But the truth is, when you're working, the boys will do their work better than in the tech environment, in the tech industry. That's the So, how did I overcome that challenge of feeling why is this person better than me? I had to go back and look at myself. I'm working where I work. We have a team. I work with 4 guys, alright? So I do not write the code, but there is something that I do that they cannot do, right? So I design the application, they develop the application. So there is something called design and development. Before you develop, you design. So you realize as ladies we are design oriented. I can tell this is not nice, I hate this color, so they are not good at that. So identify your strength. You cannot be good at everything. Identify your strength, nurture that strength, and you will excel at your work. You find yourself earning like something like with them or even earning more than them. As long as you're good at what you're doing. Do not do it, just improve on yourself and do what you do best. And take communities. Take events, join a community. Because you will find time to, a chance to interact with someone who is in the field and they can mentor you.
On my side, the challenge which I got, the first challenge when I was in year 2, semester 2, I did a website. They gave us a coursework to do a website, and they told us to do a website on Twitter. So the time when I was presenting my website, my lecturer was like, I'm not seeing anything, things disappear. So it was so painful. She saw some parts, like things they were scattered away. So she was like, you go back and redo the work afresh, and you come and you present your work. So that thing was so painful, because she was like teasing me on one side and another side. She was like, you need to redo the work. So it was hurtful, but I could go back and consult to my fellows. They helped me out, and I did it well. My second challenge, it was whereby I was creating a website. I went to a certain guy and I was like asking him to help me with some codes so that I can make up my website to complete. The guy was like, you don't know even this code? Are you serious? I was like, you help me. I came here to help me to you so that you can help me. And I complete my website. The guy was like, I can't help you. This is just a little thing, and I cannot help you in this. So it was also painful. And someone who has a small heart can just leave things behind. So I need someone else to help me, to teach me the way it was supposed to be. So I picked it up, and I thank God. People, you need to be people who will help you around. So if someone doesn't help you, don't be against that person. One needs someone who helps you a lot. Thank you.
Personally, when I went to school, we did not have WordCamp. I didn't have many mentors or inspiration. I wish we had things like WordCamp. At my time when we went to school, I think I would be a genius right now, but we didn't have this, so I didn't have a lot of this. So ladies who are here, I'm speaking to the ladies in particular, take advantage of every little piece of knowledge or skill that you learn from here, because you never know when it will come in to help you. There are many ladies out there in other countries that do not have these opportunities. I train organizations how to do WordPress or websites, and the people I'm training are 50-year-olds, and they don't know how to log into a website. They know nothing about websites, and you have an opportunity as very young ladies. You're learning this at a very good age. I know in some other countries people start doing tech when they're still toddlers, but this is a very good age. You're still at a very good age. Take advantage of every little opportunity that you get here, because there are many people out there who do not have. I didn't have that growing up, but what happened is I took advantage of any little opportunity, and sometimes I had to fight for what I wanted. Earlier on, I saw Mr. Mukalele with one computer, and there were about, 30 students gathered around him, some of them very tiny ladies, but most of them were gentlemen. Now ladies, never be afraid of going to fight for what you want, because some other ladies will say, me, I'm a lady, I don't want to. But you never know what you will learn when you're squeezing yourself in between many gentlemen. You never know the skill that you will pick up. So do not be afraid to go after what you want. The other thing I did is I took advantage of the internet. I didn't have mentors, I didn't have WordCamps, I didn't have a lot of things, but I love information and I love searching for information. Even up to right now, there are things I do not know, but sometimes I'm given a problem, I'll go to Google, I'll go to ChatGPT, I'll go to YouTube and look for what I want. I love looking for information. Sometimes you do not need to wait for a mentor, you do not need to wait for a WordCamp.
There are women that feel more comfortable when they are learning with fellow women. They can ask any question. They are free, they are open. But when they are mixed with negligence, they shy away because this guy is too good. You fear to even ask a question, he might laugh at you, he never laughed at me. So so I found myself looking for an environment that I can be free, I can ask what I want even if it doesn't make sense. But I have someone listen to me and give me an answer. There are so many communities for ladies. You can join those communities, but those communities, most of them focus on building your skills. They teach you how to do certain things. For example, they can teach you web design, they teach you how to code. There are many communities there. Like for example, we have the code pins in Uganda, code pins, Pilot is Kampala, Pilot is Python focus group for women. We have the Women in Tech Uganda. So if you feel like you need a space of women, it's okay if you can learn along with the gents, no problem. But if you feel like you need a space where you're more comfortable with as a lady, you can join those communities. And then there are also opportunities at play. For example, I'll talk about a program. There's a program called Outreaching. You can search on your website, on your phones or laptops, outreach.com or outreach.org. Sorry. So there are programs like Rails Girls. So these programs are open source programs, but you are paid to do the work. But they focus on only ladies. Only ladies should apply. But also I have realized tech is something that is unavoidable, right? So it's not because there are only opportunities for women, there are actually opportunities for everyone. But, and that's sorry for using the word, but the mere fact that in our tech teams you always have few ladies, you always find those adverts that are saying women are encouraged to apply. Women are encouraged to apply. So if you find yourself applying for such an opportunity, even if a man knows that he all has that skill and the company wants to recruit a woman, the company will recruit a woman. Like they will consider you and leave the gentleman. As long as you can show that you can do something. So yeah, that's what I can say about opportunities. Then when you have that skill, you can be able to build something for yourself. You can be able to build an application. You can be able to build for your business a website and make money by yourself, like without having to be employed by the company. But somehow, you find a way of making money by yourself with the knowledge or the skill that you have.
Before I answer that question, how many of you are so much interested into that tech space, both girls and boys? Only less than 10 people. How many of you are interested in pursuing a career in the tech space? Raise up your hand.
Come on, be confident. Raise up your hand.
Okay. So, if you're going to be to the tech space, I think one thing I would recommend is that there are so many career paths in tech. There are so many. There is front-end development, there is back-end, there is networking, there is WordPress, there is these other CMSs, Drupal. There is also information technology itself has its own different career paths where you can choose from. So it comes back to you. What do you want? If you don't know what you want, feel free to be open-minded and try out these paths. Try them out. Because for me, I tried a lot of things before I came down and settled and said that now from today I want to do front-end. I tried Python, I tried back-end, I tried UI, UX. Like some did work for me. But once I found out what worked for me, I said, okay, let me figure out how I can build a career path based on what I know. And that comes back again to what you were saying, the skills. So if you navigate through this career path and then you figure out which skills do I need to become a front-end developer, which skills do I need to have to be a very good UI UX designer? Once you figure that out, then what tools do I need to use? There are very many tools that we have being used. Which one can I really pull off? So once you figure that out, you've narrowed down from the wider space, you've now narrowed down to something, now you know. After that, even if you came to me that you're looking for opportunities, I'm going to ask you, what are you good at? If you're applying for a job, some job wants specific skills. What are you good at? So the opportunities there are really so many, and you can only navigate through it by setting a goal for yourself. Sit down, set a goal. And I had an opportunity to mentor a couple of girls in a bootcamp in Kampala, and most of them come back to me like, Fanny, I haven't yet gotten a job. Fanny, I'm facing these challenges. So once you reach at that point where you're frustrated, normally I tell them to try out something like freelancing, because my current job, I got it through freelancing. I didn't think at any time I would work for a company in Europe from Uganda. No. I started freelancing, I set up my portfolio, put it online, and someone hired me, and up to there I'm working with that gentleman. So be open-minded, try out these platforms, and then the community she mentioned. Now the community, you could find opportunities, but now that would need an extra skill of maybe writing your CV, customizing your portfolio, all that thing. In the communities, most cases, they'll share with you these jobs, but sometimes you need to figure out how to apply to them. Maybe those small things, how your CV is looking. If you're not sure, reach out to someone within that community and tell them, you know what, I feel like I qualify for this, but I have a problem with my CV. Can you help me go through it? Let someone review it for you. And the last thing is, about the opportunity I currently have is for those who would like to contribute to open source, specifically women. I'm sorry for men, but yes. So if you're a lady and you want to contribute, we have we have a lot of open source projects currently. So you can just check out osec.org and you see what we are doing with all these open source for equality projects. Thank you.
Okay, one thing I like to tell people is that one of the reasons why people, especially in Africa, do not take up some of these, let me say tech, maybe some people do not have school fees, maybe some people cannot pay for university and pay for tech or computer science, but one opportunity in tech is that there are scholarships that are gender-based. Online, there are scholarships that will target women in particular, but they won't just target any woman. You need to be good at what you're doing. They need to see that even if you're in secondary school, what are you doing? Because these are mostly STEM, and tech is part of it. So they won't just come and give you a scholarship like that. What are you doing? Are you good at what you do? They won't just hand out a scholarship to you because you're a lady. You need to be standing out in the community. And it's not only your school work. I've noticed that these people, when they tell you to write an essay for your scholarship, it's not just about your school work. They want to see what are you contributing to the community. How are you using tech or what I call the STEM subjects? How are you using them to contribute to your community? Many times they will give a scholarship to somebody who is contributing to their community, even if their marks are not, maybe they didn't score a AAA. I don't know how marks are scored these days. They will give that person who is contributing to their community, especially if it's a lady, as opposed to that person who is only good in the class. So what else are you doing in your community with all the skills that you have? And you can change your community even if you're in S1, P7, S5, whichever class you're in, you can still change your community.